Ladies and gentlemen, listen to your gut and get out of the door. Hi, I'm Ayla. This is Bareface Sundays, which is my yap session. And today we're going to be talking about a POV, a sensitive, overthinking girly in her 20s. I have a lot to unpack in this episode, and by no means, and I love to give this disclaimer, I am no professional. I'm not here giving life gyan. I'm just talking about life, what I've learned in my experiences. Just experiences, what you want to take out of it. You can treat it like a story time, and it's the best video to watch when you want to go to bed. I'm not doing this on my bed today. I'm doing this on the carpet because I thought let's change the location. I have my handy dandy iPad with me and I have my notes because I want to really give you guys the juice of today. There are a lot of different things I want to talk about in this episode because you guys voted for this episode. And I just want to talk about so much. I'm an only child. I've grown up with my mom and Nani. That's just I'm telling you guys random facts about me, and maybe you can associate only thinking, overthinking, or being sensitive. I used to cry a lot up until a couple of months ago. I cried at everything. मुझे रोना बहुत जल्दी आता था, but my rona was more of gussa. So we're gonna unpack a lot more things and a couple of more ways I've learned to cope with it and deal life being a big girl and a strong girl. So let's go into it. If you feel like in your early 20s, a lot of your identity is woozy and you're not understanding, you could be overwhelmed by so many things. For me, I just felt like I kind of had an identity crisis when I hit my early 20s because a lot of things that I was doing was very untraditional. Just say my university degree was online rather than in person while did content. So I kind of technically started doing content full time at the age of 19 and studying full time, and then COVID ke baad, just studying online. I was very isolated from people I'd grown up with. Friends ho gaye, family bhi ho gayi. I really threw myself into the work. And I don't know, I just, times changed, I guess. So a lot of this identity shift happened when these times were changing. And I was like, why do I feel like a different person? But it also started to make me intro and retrospect that why do I need people to feel a certain way about myself? And why is my identity dependent on other people? So we're going to be unpacking a lot, okay? Studying and let me know if you guys want to. I'm going to do a separate episode on university. A lot was happening, content was happening, some friendship dynamics were changing. There was loneliness, there was uncertainty, but there was also a lot of faith in being a good person and karma triumphs everything. So I think it's my work and having faith in Allah Ta'ala that आपकी नीयत अच्छी है, it's all gonna work out would happen, and Alhamdulillah say it all works out and worked out, Alhamdulillah say. But just really feeling alone and really being forced to be alone with my thoughts happened a lot at 21 and a lot at 22, also 23, but 24 is when it stabbed me. And those were more life lessons, more philosophical, low-key thinking was happening at 21, 22. And I really, really hope this footage is not blurry. And I'm saying this in the middle of my thought. I started to think a lot in my early 20s, which got me to a point that why am I shaping identity over opinions of me, which have never bothered me before? I'm not going to change who I am just because a couple of stupid things were happening around me. So I stayed patient. And one thing I'll tell you guys is patience is key in a lot of situations, especially in situations where you kind of have your hands tied and the truth will just prevail when it needs to prevail. And if you're a good person, just hold on to that. So it wasn't losing people that was hurting me, that was causing like a shift in like who am I, what are my hobbies, what are my passions, like who was I trying to be. It was more like who was I trying to be and who was I trying to please, because I wasn't happy with who I was, and I'm like done with this people pleasing. And more than this identity shift in my early 20s, and I say early 20s, when I say this I refer to like being 20 and 21 exclusively, बट जब इज़्ज़त पे ज़्यादा बात आई, इज़्ज़त पे तो पहले भी बात आ गई थी। बट जब ज़्यादा लाइक काम और धंधे पे बात आई ना, वहाँ मेरा दिमाग थोड़ा सठिया जाता है। एंड आई लव, मैंने इतना कैजुअली उर्दू में इसे ट्रांज़िशन कर दिया है, एंड उर्दू में भी मैंने ऐसे ट्रांज़िशन करा है दैट आई एम यूज़िंग वर्ड्स लाइक सठिया गया है। सो आई एम द मिक्स ऑफ बोथ वर्ल्ड्स। So just coming to the point and without banter, but with banter. So the real turning point for me on when I felt like my sensitivity, my overthinking, my emotions were at a peak जितनी मैंने देखी है, एंड अल्लाह ताला ये वाली पीक गुस्से की, एंगर की, सैडनेस की, ओवरवेल्म की किसी को ना दिखाएं. एंड फॉर मी इट वाज एक्चुअली investing my hard earned money with the wrong person. And ladies and gentlemen, learn this as a lesson no matter how close you are to someone, no matter how well you think you know someone. Get all your paperwork done and don't go into businesses with people you know. Because realities will come out and no one will like it and it'll just ruin relationships. And I much rather ruin a relationship than ruin my mental peace. Tried and tested. So, all in all, last year, I was doing a really fun business venture. That was not content, that was food. And it just became toxic, and it became toxic to a point where I was losing sleep and I was losing mental peace. And the people we went into a commitment with couldn't pull up with capital. And I'm too much of a baby to like sustain a business with just my capital. Like Allah Ta'ala बहुत दे अभी उस मकाम पे नहीं पहुंचे. So it was like when I know I can't pay the salaries for the next 3 months of like 10 employees, I will let them know on the first month, give them time to find a job, give them their pay and let go. And it took me a while to get to that position because a lot was invested, a lot was riding, and like it just came to a point, this is not working. And it was mental peace or money. And I was like, bro, mental peace any day. And as soon as I made that decision, right? And if there is something in your life right now, जिसकी वजह से आपकी एक रुकावट है, like आपको पता है आपकी ज़िंदगी में एक ऐसा इंसान या कोई वजूहात मौवाक़े, instances are mawaqe. Wajuat are like reasons or circumstances. I hope I'm saying it right. And if there are people in your life or instances or energy or vampire energy takers, and you just feel like something is off and it's causing like a dent in your happiness, in your mental stability, in your peace, I would say listen to your gut and get out of the door. Get out of the first door because it is scary. Like, you guys, you don't understand. Last Ramadan, I have like PTSD from Ramzan right now. Literally last year, I would sleep for a mere couple of hours. I would wake up, I would go do this iftari, come back, do a seri, come back, repeat the cycle. 30 days. And if it was just a charitable thing, I wouldn't have mind. Like if it was just in a low capacity, I wouldn't have like minded it. It just was like cyclical for me where it seemed all good and then it just came crashing down. And I kind of knew it would come crashing down. I just didn't like really listen to myself. Shout out my mom, Nani. They were like better and smarter, but lesson learned, lesson learned. So my nervous system was constantly on edge, and when I mean by what does that mean, Ayla, इसका क्या मतलब है? Shakings चल रहे थे मेरे बहुत time के लिए, and guys, वो जो shakings, anxiety, all of this was really, really like going into a capacity of like I was developing rage and I was developing like just pent up aggression in me. And it didn't end well because I've punched three walls, but I'll get to that in a minute. I promise. It's not toxic. I didn't punch anyone. I just punched the wall. Moral of the story is between money or mental health, mental health will always come first. Mental health should always come first. And it was genuinely the first time I felt I am making a decision that is really going to save me from more suffering aage jaake. And this is when I had just gone, like when I got out of the situation, or I was still in the situation, I'd visited my now chiropractor, Dr. Amna Bhatti, and she had touched my back and she was like, "What are you stressed about, woman? Like, why is it so tight and stiff?" And now, Alhamdulillah, say almost 1 year later, my pelvis is completely aligned. So, chiropractic works. But to come back to the mother of the topic, I don't need to prove I can do everything. I'm okay to say that I started a venture. It didn't work out not because of my mehnat, it didn't work out due to circumstances that were beyond my control. And being the control freak I am, it is very hard to accept defeat, failure, and also that I can't do everything. I can do everything, but I'm sure I can't do everything 100% perfectly. That's why there are specialists in some fields. But I have to say, kudos to every restaurateur that's there. Kudos to anyone running a food business. It is one of the most toughest. It's the most, like, you'll also lose weight like this when you're in a food business. You're constantly on your feet. It is great. And also, like, while I was in this food business, I also saw like the true colors of a lot of people, which really, really made me shocked. So, like, जो भी चीज़ अगर आपके नज़रिए से सही नहीं गई, उसमें हर चीज़ में एक सल्वर हर चीज़ में एक सिल्वर लाइनिंग होती है. एंड आई रियली रियली बिलीव दैट आई वाज अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह से सेव फ्रॉम much more mental torture. So taking a risk is fine, but like toxicity isn't. So we need to kind of like re-evaluate our risks. And also, guys, I was not greedy, because the way I was sold into this business was that it's going to be like a low effort business. I'm a silent partner. I don't have to do anything. I'm not front of business. I'm not front of house, yada, yada, yada. Turns out I was front of house. I was running the marketing. I was running the sales. Finances too, like A to Z, all departments were under me, Hussein, and a couple of other people. Two other amazing, amazing people. I just thought I'd make like a couple of lakhs a month on the side. I was making 20,000 in profit. And then I was just thinking to myself, I can make a reel and do alhamdulillah say really well for myself. And that's the thing. जिस चीज़ में आप अच्छे उसमें रहें, slowly अपने risk लें, हर चीज़ में risk लें, पर जिस इंसान के साथ risk ले लें, उस इंसान का थोड़ा और एक character profile बना लें, because you will see the true colors of people, especially when you're in a business with them, especially when you will have disagreements on like furniture and inventory and pricing and how to pay labor and like ethics. Log ethics bhul jate hain. Like, hello, we're in 2026. Hello. Okay, moving on to the old beliefs versus the new beliefs. Now, old beliefs that I had, coming to a point of being sensitive and being an overthinker, I've had situations where I've taken rejection personally, especially while being a content creator, because it's so tied in with your worth और आपकी वैल्यू numbers में बात होती है. तो पहले दिल पे बड़ा कटता था, किसी चीज़ से हटा दिया, किसी चीज़ से हटा दो, something doesn't happen, बहुत कॉन्वर्सेशंस होके कोई चीज़ नहीं होती, पहले लगता था, थोड़ा सा चुभता था. फिर आई थिंक फ्रंटल लोब थोड़ा डेवलप होना शुरू हुआ है, विच मेड मी रियलाइज दैट ओ माई गॉड, नो वन कैन स्टील योर नसीब. कि मैं यहाँ, like, who the hell do I think I am that I can plan my own naseeb and faith? And it just really, really helped to switch the flip of the belief system. Especially in a field like content creation, in front of a field where you are communicating with the audience and you're on a brand side, things can get really brutal. And the way people talk to you, and you gotta develop thick skin in order to survive. And you can stand up for what is morally and ethically wrong, but if someone is talking to you purely in numbers and statistics, you cannot put emotions to that. That's just one thing I had to learn the hard way. I also felt like I needed a lot of inclusion to validate worth, and I started actually feeling that in 2022. And then I kind of stopped, and then I felt it recently, and I kind of stopped. And it always stemmed out from a place that, I don't know, is my content too niche? What I do too broad? Like, I'm not niche. I talk about everything. Like, sometimes it just feels like you just want to find people who are like minded creators like you, who kind of face similar not struggles. It's like people will come in the comment section and be like, what struggles do content creators face? There are struggles. हर बंदे की ज़िंदगी के struggles होते हैं. It's not about profession. आपके profession के basis पे आपके struggles आते हैं. It's just maybe been hard for me to like find the right group of people. But I actually have a lot of like really nice solo and duo individual friendships with a lot of people in this field, alhamdulillah, say that took away this belief system. Now, what I really, 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 really believe, and I feel like even if you don't believe this, start believing this, you'll fake make yourself believe it, and then you believe it. Life actually feels so much better. And you know, when they say live in the moment, be present, you kind of never know what are you talking about until you actually just like pause and you look around. I was gonna be like looking around and gonna do the Unaija dance, like shout out Unaija. And then you kind of just realize that I will never be as young again. I'm the oldest I've ever been. I'm the youngest I'll ever be. I'm sitting very comfortably on my carpet recording a podcast for my YouTube channel. This is all I would have wanted to do when I was 12, 14 years old, perhaps 12 years old. I've always wanted to be a pop star. Content creation influencer was just like easier to reach than to be a pop star, if I'm being honest. And if it's not my naseeb, it will not happen. And if it's in my naseeb, koi insaan mere naseeb se meri cheez nahi chheen sakta. It is not remotely possible. तवक्कुल का मतलब है detachment. Detachment का मतलब है मेहनत करके detach करो. In simple words, I was actually saying this to Hussein today, and he's like, it's such a lovely way to put it. Stop being so obsessed. Like, you don't, like, God doesn't like fan behavior, if I'm being really honest. And what I mean by fan behavior, like, if you're so obsessed with something to happen, like, I was so obsessed with this campaign. I worked with Visit Abu Dhabi directly through Visit Abu Dhabi, but I'd actually gotten that campaign a couple of months prior through another agency. And they had confirmed me for my entire Abu Dhabi trip. I had my suitcases packed, and they were just going to send in my itinerary and tickets. Everything was done. They're like, oh, sorry, we can't do this with you. Every creator was done. You were the last of the lot, and we kind of don't like need this anymore. And like, yeah, like, sorry, we can't do this. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? Like, and they were like, yeah, we're just like figuring out like if we have space to raise another PO for another creator because each creator gets like a budget, expense pack, etc., etc. And I wasn't being paid for this. I was literally just doing it because I was so excited, like a free trip to Abu Dhabi, like a five-star hotel stay, content. Like, who wouldn't want to do it? And I was like, yeah, like, let me know if you can make space for me in your PO. Like, please raise it. And, you know, like, I prayed and I begged Allah. And I was like, please make it happen. Please make it happen. Please make it happen. Like, I want to do this trip. And guess what? It didn't happen. And then I still ended up going to Dubai because I can. That's the perk. That's the perk. Alhamdulillah say when you can make your own money, you can save some on the side. कि अपना दिल खुश करने के लिए आप कर सकते हो चीज़ें और मैं अपना दिल नहीं दुखाना चाहती. I never want to be the person breaking my heart and I never want to ever give anyone that much leeway with me to break mine. Straight up. So if it's meant for me, it'll come to me. And then that campaign, guys, I was in Dubai in Feb. In March and I was reached out for that campaign. And in July, I was in Abu Dhabi every single month. July, August, September, October, November, December, December, and then April of 2025 last year. And some of the best experiences, and I say what is in your naseeb will truly happen. Shout out Wycon. Shout out Visit Abu Dhabi. You guys were the best to work with. And you know what, guys? When they came independently, they came with a budget to even pay me. Honestly, the best content like experience I've ever had in my life was at Saudi. The best. The best. Okay, coming to it and moving on. Tawakkul is controlled surrender. It is not weakness. And the people that think tawakkul ka matlab hai weakness, सीखो, कुछ सीखो. Coming to the actual point, you know, when I think about what really made me this sensitive, why do I not like people talking to me in loud voices? Why do I get so frightened or scared? Or मैं जब रोती हूँ या if I have to confront someone, why do I cry with हिचकियाँ that I'm breathless? Like, am I dramatic? Or is this who I am? And, you know, I started looking back at instances while growing up and not to like shit on these people because I really feel like the generation in front of us was not really told how to deal with their feelings. And like maybe, and if I dare say it, Gen Z is the first generation to actually deal with their feelings. And I don't mean dealing with your feelings means to go to therapy. We've seen millennials go to therapy and we've seen like where that's landed them. And not to shit on therapy, I just think self awareness is really important, which millennials and Gen X do not have. Baby boomers, I mean, I'm really lucky because my nani is self aware. Yeah. And like, it's good. Like, I don't have to like teach her this generation. Like, she has come, alhamdulillah, say with the times. So, like, I was really thinking about it, and there were like people in my family who didn't know better, but would like get these fucking snaps of anger. And they'd like shout at me and I was the only child and I'm like the firstborn of the family. So, in a room full of adults would always be a 10-year-old or 11-year-old me. And for no particular reason, I would be screamed at, "Ke, Ada, why are you sitting here?" Or like, "What are you doing this?" Or "Why are you eating like this?" Like, random shit like this. And that would really throw me off edge. And like, as obviously a young child, like you don't want to be spoken to that way. And that made me like, walk on eggshells. And this is like one bad trait of my mom and Nani, if I might also say. This has nothing to do with them, separate point. Whenever I've cried now, especially in my late teens, early 20s, they're like, beta, like, itna asani se nahi roya karo, like, be strong, be strong, be strong. And like these tears now, at this age, have always been more tears of frustration and anger rather than tears of sadness. And I really, told them that, "Ki, don't worry. Like, these are not tears of sadness. Like, I'm angry right now. Like, let me be. Like, this is my outlet of letting the anger out." And I remember, like, just, like growing up in situations where you were maybe spoken to a bit louder. I actually, in recent times, even though I trembled and I cried with so many hitchkiyan, and I literally was confronting this man while like wheezing from my nose. I really gave it to a family member and I really told them that, the way they've acted and the way they've made appearances in my life have been some of the most traumatic memories I have of any family member. And like, if they can't be like cordial now and if they can't like come in with good energy, like they are not welcomed in my life and they are not like welcomed in this house. Like, like please, like then you live your own life and like you keep your shit away from us. I'm really protective, and I feel like every girl, especially when you're like the eldest daughter and the only child, like you, I speak like this because you have to turn into the gunda of your house, bro. Like, you have to. Like, there's just no other way to live, and you do end up internalizing a lot of that fight or flight that you have put your body in for so many years. And like, I was really proud of myself for doing that confrontation, even though it ended, and like I hated that whenever I would cry, I would be perceived as weak because this person ended up just going to my family and saying, like she should be stronger. She shouldn't cry this easy. Like, she's so weak. Like, look at my daughter. She doesn't cry. Okay. Hmm. Fair. Moving on. Like, my tears were just never weakness. I just was overflowing in emotion and I take that in my stride. I'm an empath. Like, मैं ज़्यादा love भी करूँगी, मैं ज़्यादा feel भी करूँगी, ज़्यादा ज़्यादा सब होता है. I just didn't like, and I still don't like raised voices. And I feel like last year I saw the ugliest version of myself because these instances that I was telling you guys about that happened with me when I was younger, I was genuinely like seeing glimpses not of that person but that habit and that way of being overwhelmed and not being able to work it out. And like, while I was contemplating mental health or money and while I was in this fight or flight and all, guys, shit was bad. I was punching walls last year. And like, I have to say, this is a trigger warning. And this is not a self harm trigger warning because I wouldn't do that to myself. But I do consider me punching a wall with my bare knuckles to be a form of self harm. And I don't think I would have been the type of girl to have ever done that because I've always like pitied people who, really seen no other way but to cause them self harm and inflict harm on themselves until I did it to myself, where I just kept it inside. I just thought like, if I put it under the rug, I shove this anger under the rug, I like keep my mouth shut and I deal with circumstances. Like I I show resilience through this dark time in this situation that was in front of me. Unprocessed sensitivity for me turned into aggression. And it's not something I say with pride, and it's something I say to be really honest over here. I don't wish that upon anyone. I punched a wall maybe twice in two different circumstances. Two were very menial circumstances, which just triggered a process of emotions which I wasn't dealing with. और बात इतनी थी, but मैंने बात किसी और चीज़ पे, like मेरा दिमाग कहीं और था. And like घुमा फिरा के we would always come back to like I don't feel mentally safe in this situation and I feel trapped. And until I actually took the bigger decision of leaving it, I didn't feel better. And honestly, the best decision of my life last year was to like just leave control and listen to my gut, and just everything worked out. And like, how did I fix it? I say it so casually, like I say it like I've lived so many lives, but I genuinely saw the gym as an emotional outlet for me to go bonkers. And I also was able to like take two holidays last year, which I was also grateful to take like two holidays, which did help center me. I also wanted to get rid of whatever trauma or negative energy of that shit that was on me. So I just started picking up a hobby that I always grew up doing, and I just stopped in the last couple of years, which was dancing. And I wake up and I play music in my bathroom and I dance. And that's really, really helped me just deal with feeling emotions. Like, I do feel triggered now, but I don't react. I respond to the trigger. I ask myself, like, what is this really about? And I think it's also about letting go of your own ego in order to tell someone, hey, this situation has made me feel this certain way. I'm feeling this way. Just letting you know. So you inform the other person of what's going on in your head. Because when you're overthinking, 90% of it is just bakwas in your dimag. If you feel like 2-3 मिनट गुजर गए नहीं जा रहा, बकवास को उग दो. Say it. That listen, I'm feeling this way. I'm just feeling a bit overwhelmed. I feel like I'm just gonna breathe through it. It'll get better. I promise you, you don't need any fancy schmancy guide. Focus on your breathing. Short inhales, long exhales. The best way to really center yourself for me, if I'm feeling overwhelmed in one place, I will get out of that location. I will either walk, go on a drive, do something. Also, astaghfar, 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 astaghfar. Just as much as zikr you can do. And I talk to myself in the mirror and I say it very loudly and very proudly, because you need to look at yourself in the mirror and you need to remind yourself of the bad bitch that you are. And you can remind yourself, in 10 minutes, I will be okay. I will get out of this headspace. And whatever that has triggered me, write it down, deal with it. Don't compartmentalize it, because जब हर जगह पेन होगा ना, फिर chiropractor के पास जाओगे, they'll be like, your muscles are really tense, you're holding on to a lot of stuff. Because guys, your brain may be able to compartmentalize, but your body remembers the shit you go through. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. You can be sensitive and you can be powerful. Don't let your sensitivity become your weakness by letting people label you. You're a complex person. You can't fit in a box. You can't fit in labels. That is bullshit. You can cry and still set boundaries. I feel like crying is a great cathartic experience. I still cry at times. I personally don't like the emotion because I have dry eyes, and crying just does way too much more damage to me than necessary. Like, बस मैंने रो दिए, जितने आंसू बहाने थे बहा दिए. इंशाल्लाह अल्लाह ताला कभी किसी के आंसू ना बहाए, आपकी भी नहीं, मेरी भी नहीं. You can tremble and you can still stand your ground. And I'm still proud of that instance, no matter how snotty I was when I was giving this family member shit. I'm really, really glad that I did. And it's hard to like summarize these experiences and put them in these topics, because I'm literally just picking up life instances and like trying to converse about them. But all I'll say is like the strongest version of you isn't going to be the version of you that doesn't cry or doesn't feel emotions. It's going to be the one version of you that doesn't abandon herself or himself anymore. And the day you learn that it is okay to feel, it is okay to process, but stop holding yourself so toughly accountable. It will feel better. And you need to make peace with yourself just by the basics. This week, homework. I want you guys to do three things. I want you to take out 10 minutes, whether it's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and I just want you to stop everything. Just sit and breathe and just do inhale for 4, hold for 5, exhale for 7. As fast as I did, but you can slow it down. It's all about, in these breaths, just remind yourself I'm human. I can make mistakes. I can learn from those mistakes. My mistakes don't define me. I'm an overthinking, sensitive, cute gal who loves her life and is so blessed. And say cute affirmations. Try to journal and DM me next Sunday if you're still feeling like shit. I will do like these Sunday personal sessions. More information on this on my Instagram. It's gonna be like one-on-one sessions, 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll yap together. I hope you find something comforting out of this. And I hope I was able to summarize that us overthinking sensitive girls are not dramatic. We feel a lot. We've been through some shit. Everyone has their own set of like little traumas, little boundaries that were crossed that we don't deal with. And just kind of talking to yourself and just becoming your own best friend is the right way to go.